What's up guys, this is Zaid here with another episode of Zaid's Experience. Today we're going to be talking about how to better your flow at the kitchen, how to make things a lot faster, how to make your food prep and everything flow just way smoother. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Okay guys, so we're going to jump straight into all of these. The first up is a very obvious one, a good knife. So having a very good knife is super important. You guys have always seen me talk about these Mercer Culinary Genesis 6. I know it's a mouthful, but that's what they're called. They're a pretty good set of knife. I really like them. You can go ahead and see, I have a whole video on it. Obviously it was recorded a while back, but the information is still there. It's still a pretty good knife set. I really like it. I still keep on using it even though I have a little bit more budget to run on. This is still a pretty good knife. The reason why I really think that a good knife should be the first tip out of all of these, it's because one thing that really just sucks while you're in the kitchen is managing a blade that just feels really awkward in your hand. It's just very slippery. It can cause all kinds of problems, and at the end of the day you end up having way more trouble, and to be honest, it just makes you way more efficient just to get a knife. I'm not saying to go ahead and buy the best, most expensive knife out there. Buy something that works for you. This is a set of knives that really works for me, and I really recommend it. So now, tip number 2. Second thing I really recommend is if you have a really good knife, you gotta find the way to keep it sharp. And what do you need for that? Honing steel. These steels are very cheap. This one in particular runs for about 25 bucks, I believe, on Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can buy a different one. There's also electric sharpeners. There's all kinds of other sharpeners out there. The problem with the electric sharpeners is that they shorten the life of your blade by quite a bit, especially if you went ahead and just bought something really expensive. The last thing you want is for that blade to deteriorate, so you want to conserve it as much as possible. So yeah, keeping one of these around is awesome. I like it. I wouldn't trade it for any other electronic sharpener. It's just a lot easier. It doesn't have to be hooked up to anything, and you can just go ahead and use it whenever you need to. So now, tip number 3. Something that I find insanely useful is, obviously, you got your cutting board, right? Go ahead and buy something that's easy to move around. You don't want something that's just huge and awkward and doesn't fit anywhere, and then go ahead and try storing that. It's always a pain. I have a really large cutting board that you've always seen me use all the time. You've seen me on several videos, you've seen me use it, but it's the most troublesome out of all the cutting boards that I have. It's just really hard to store. It doesn't fit anywhere. Whenever I try to clean it out in my sink, it's just not deep enough, so I have to literally just scrub one side, finish, scrub the other side. This thing is huge. It's almost as big as my torso. I think it's actually bigger than my torso. You guys get the idea. So get something that just works for you and just really take care of it. Cutting boards can really last you, especially if you get something like wood, which is what I recommend you getting. All the plastic ones, they work fine and everything, but after a while, they just really start to wear down. You start to get like really weird colors all over them. So I really think that a wooden board would be way better. And then just go ahead and rub it with a little bit of olive oil every now and then. You treat it well, it'll serve you well, and it can last you for a lifetime, to be honest. Now, for tip number 4. Along with one of these boards, obviously, you need one of these. Yes, a towel. So what's really important about that is a trick that I've been using for quite some time now. So what I like to do is soak the towel and then place it at the bottom of the cutting board, and what that does, it just really stabilizes your board and it prevents it from moving around, especially in some awkward surfaces. Sometimes you might put it in a counter and it might just be too slippery, and although you have the best cutting board all around, it still moves around and slides around. So that can be very dangerous, especially if you're trying to chop something really fast, or you're chopping vegetables, bell pepper, celery, carrots, all kinds of stuff. Having a board that just moves around on you, and that literally translates into an accident. It's an accident that's just waiting to happen. So just go ahead and trust me, use the towel at the bottom, the silk towel at the bottom. And finally, guys, tip number 5. So tip number 5 is learn how to use the settings on your stove. You guys do not know how important this is. I know sometimes you only get low, medium, and high, but there's also all these micro settings in the middle. Oh, just medium high, medium low, just kind of stay, even though the dial doesn't quite fit there sometimes and it doesn't stay. Go ahead and give it a shot, trust me. Just move around, make sure that flame is the proper heat for whatever it is that you're cooking. You're not gonna use the same type of flame for searing a piece of meat versus, I don't know, maybe getting boiling some water to the right temperature, or maybe just making an egg. You know? So really just go ahead and play around with those settings. Trust me guys, it'll really help you, especially when you got really important meals that you don't want to screw up. You better make sure you know those settings before you place that piece of top sirloin down that cost you, I don't know, however much meat is going around for in your area. But in any case, you get what I'm saying. Just really get to know those settings and you'll just do fine. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for joining me on an episode of Zaid's Experience. If you guys liked this video or if it was helpful or informative, you guys know the drill. Comment, like, and subscribe. And if not, then I guess I don't know. But I would really appreciate it, even if you don't like this video, to go ahead and leave a comment down at the bottom and maybe let me know what you guys want to see, maybe what you don't want to see, or maybe what you disliked. In any case, guys, time for me to leave and get something cooking. Peace.